Hey guys, back again. So today we'll be doing the timing belt. So I'll do a video on putting the timing belt on this Lancer on the 4G15 motor, 4-cylinder. So we just got the old tensioner off. So you might have seen it from the last video. So we just got the old tensioner off, that's the old one. So we've replaced it with a new one from Gates. So we just gave it a bit of a clean up in here, and I've just put it loosely on, so the tensioner, it will tension. The bolt's just holding it up there, the spring's on it to tension it at the moment. So we'll get the belt sitting on it. We just got to line up the timing marks, make sure that they're all correct down the bottom and up the top. Slip the belt on, and then we'll set the tension on the timing belt. Okay, we've got the timing belt on. So the timing belt and the motor spins clockwise, which is this way. So you can see on the timing belt, the arrows are saying that it is spinning that way. The timing mark down in here, so which is that little dot right there, and it lines up with the head dot, which is, well, the arrow that's pointing up in there. So we've checked that. Down in here, the pulley mark, which you can see there. So you can see it wherever it is, which is where that pin is. There's a little white dot and an indentation on the pulley there, and it lines up with the mark, which is on the back of the case, which is back there. So it's all lined up. So the tensioner, we've let the tensioner go and we've just firmed it up. So what we'll do now is we will turn the motor over by hand and make sure that nothing's hitting. So nothing like the valve, so nothing in the valve train's hitting on the top of the pistons. Make sure that it's all good. Then we will lock the motor up and do the bolt to the cam gear. We have not done that up yet, so we will find out the tension specs on that and get that tightened up. So we'll lock up the top of the motor and do that to spec. Then after that's done, then we will release the tensioner again and let it tension to where it wants, and then firm the tensioner back up. So we'll get that done now. So we've just spun the motor around clockwise, obviously, the way the motor actually runs. Nothing's hitting, it seems to be fine. So what we're going to do is the old boy's just going to, so down in, where are we? Down in here where that tensioner is for the timing belt, we're just going to release it, let it sit where it wants, and then firm it back up. You can actually put a little bit of preload on them, but I don't think you really need to. So just make sure it's firm and just check the belt. It's got movement, a little bit of movement, it's tight, yep. So we're all good there. So now what we're gonna do is we'll lock the top of the cam up somehow. Put a bar or something through here, and I'll find out what the tension specs are for this bolt, and we will tighten it down. Then all of the timing cover can go on, and yeah, so we'll get that tension spec and I'll show you that. Okay, so the tension spec for the cam gear bolt is I think it was 90 Newton meters of torque. So we've just got it jammed up here, and we'll just go until it clicks. Just like that, and we'll just check it once more. Yep, she's done. So that's the cam gear bolt done. And then we'll get the screwdriver out. Just be careful when you put the screwdriver in that you don't mark up the top of where the rocker cover is actually going to sit. So we just put the screwdriver so it was on the flat up in here, so it wasn't, if it's going to damage anything, it'll just damage a little bit up in here, but we had the screwdriver flat then, so it's all good. You can find other ways of doing it to lock up the motor, but that's fine. Just as long as you don't damage any of this around in here, you'll be fine. So yeah, so that's all done up now. So we'll get the all the timing cover on, get the rocker cover back on, and that will basically nearly be it for this. And then we'll do inlet, manifold and exhaust on another video. Okay, so we just got a bit of oil poured over the top of the motor, put the Dizzy back in it. We've got to take the Dizzy back out soon and put another seal on it. I didn't think we actually got one in the kit, but we actually did. So we'll actually replace the rubber O-ring on it. So we'll just whiz it out after and put another one on it. So we've got the rocker cover here, that's ready to go on. I've just given this a clean up around the top of the head. So we'll get that on. We got the lower timing belt cover on, which is down in there, which you can see. The top timing cover, it goes on after the rocker cover, so that's why we've got to get the rocker cover on now. So we'll get him turned over here and put on here. Just like that. We'll find some bolts for him, and we will yeah, get it bolted down and you'll see it bolted on. Okay, so we got the rocker cover on, that's all bolted up firm. We've just slipped on the top timing cover here. It's got 3 bolts in it. So one holds the dipstick tube in. There's another one that goes down onto the front engine mount, and then the other one's just over here on the side. So when you do these up, you don't need to do them up overly tight, just tight enough. So I'll just swap hands here. It's easier with me right hand. So just firm them up with the dipstick one over here. Try and do them up by hand as much as you can. That one, and then the other one's just down in here. Right down there. Sorry if it's not focusing, guys. Alright, so that's that. So the timing, top timing cover's on, rock cover's on. So now we're going to put the bottom pulley on. So I'll have to find out what the specs are for that, but I'll know it's going to be really, really tight. And then we've just got the water pump pulley to go on, which is up in there. So you can just see it up the top up here. So we're at the light. So we'll get that pulley on as well. And we'll get that done up. So I'll find out what the specs are for that, the harmonic balancer on the front of the crank, and I'll let you know. So we managed to get the crank shaft dampener on, or harmonic balancer, whatever you want to call it. It did take a bit. We tried putting it in gear and locking on the brakes, but it just didn't want to have a bar of it. So yeah, we ended up just quickly taking off the timing cover off the top, off up here, and put a bar in between it again, a screwdriver, and locked the cam up the top, and then we did that up to the spec that it was, which it was on here. It was 93 foot-pounds if I'm reading right, if I reckon that was right and I remember. So yeah, 93 foot-pounds on that dampener, harmonic balancer, whatever you want to call it, crankshaft pulley down in there. And then yeah, we just put this back on. We did actually notice that we left off the earth too, so a bit of a win-win there. So we would have had to pull it off anyway to do that. So yeah, we'll get the water pump on it now. So let's get the old boy to grab the light. So the water pump pulley sits down in here, goes on here, Now these things here, you want to try and line up on the hole. I'm just trying to look here so I don't get a bolt. So here we go. Try and fish my arm down there from here and get a bolt in. It's more of a guess trying to get these things in. You just try and line them up by eye and then do them up, and hopefully you get it. So, yeah, and then you just keep going around. So this has 4 in it. I don't think there is a tension setting for these bolts. You just do them up firm but not tight. They will break if you do them up really tight. So best off just doing them up nice and firm and don't over tighten them. So get that down on there, one to go. And that one there like that. And I'll just get the old boy to grab the camera here, and I'll tighten him up. So try and get this light in a bit better position somewhere. Yeah, somewhere there maybe. Yep, there we go. Got the light to sit there. So yeah, to do these, you just kind of grab them. Oh, that was good. Grab the pulley like that. Yeah, so grab the pulley with your hand. When you start turning the pulley in your hand, that's basically tight enough. What you can do is when you get the fan belt on it, just whiz over them again when you've got tension on the fan belt. And then, yeah, just to get them just a little bit tighter than what I'm doing now. But this here's, that's pretty good enough for now. So that's all 4 of them. So now we'll get the belts on it, the power steer and the engine mount back in it. And that'll be all for this. Righto, so we got all the fan belts put on. So got the power steer one to the aircon, and the one behind that is the water pump and alternator. So you got to do the water pump alternator first before you can do power steer and aircon. So yeah, we've got them all tensioned up, so they're all nice and tight. So you just do that through this bolt here. So you loosen this one and then you do this one here up, and that'll tighten your belt where you got it where you want it. Not too tight, just tight enough. So you should be able to flex him around a little bit, and then once you get it where you want it, you tighten this one up. Same deal with the power steer one up here. That's how you adjust it. So the bolt is that one. You do it up, same thing when you got it where your belt needs to be. The lock nut is actually just in here, so where I've got my finger, so you can just see it just there. And then when you got it there, you got to get the pulley in the right area so you can lock it off. So yeah, and that's how you do that. So that'll be it for today. So yeah, we've got to do exhaust, inlet manifold, do the radiator hoses and all that. It's still got to have a fuel pump put in it. So if you made it this far in the video, thanks for hanging around, guys. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. See you later.